start the meeting formally, we can just make sure that Councillor Tivy has joined. Is that okay?
That'd be great. Thank you much.
Thank you. So yes, I can see the recording has started. So I'm just going to do, as we usually do, just to remind everyone of the protocol for these kind of meetings, which I think you're all very used to now. One of the main things is that if you aren't actually speaking, can you please keep your microphone muted? And then if you are asked to speak, come off mute. I'm sure everybody will shout if you're trying to speak and you're on mute. And then once you've finished speaking, if you can go back on mute. If you want to ask a question or make a comment at the relevant time in the debate, can you please press the virtual hand on the screen and then wait to be invited to speak, because we'll need you all to work through that one person at a time. And please do not speak or unmute your mic until you're invited to speak. If you have any reason to leave the meeting, if you could raise your hand and let us know that you're going to go so that that can be recorded. But if you get knocked off because of some problem with connection, there is case law that says you mustn't vote on a matter where you haven't heard the full debate, and so we have to take this on trust that you won't vote if you know that you haven't heard the whole of the debate. If you are knocked off while somebody is reading through the report and you know that you've read the report, that's fine for you to go ahead, but if you miss any part of the debate, you shouldn't vote. If you have to declare an interest in an item, then can you please turn off your camera and your microphone whilst that matter is dealt with, so that there can't be any suggestion that you're trying to influence the debate. We are today going to have to deal with an exempt item. So the way we're going to deal with that is that the Mayor will close the open part of the meeting and will then move section 100 and move into a closed session, and at that point we'll ask Democratic Services to just check that all members of the public have then left the meeting, or anybody who shouldn't be part of the meeting at that point has then left. I'll just remind you quickly as well about the way that we're doing voting. It's just for ease of counting, because there have been some difficulties in counting. When you are casting your vote, you just press the hand so that we can see your virtual hand on the screen. And I'm going to do it as we've done so far, where I will ask you first if anybody wishes to abstain. We'll then count that. We'll then deal with anybody who wishes to vote against and count that. And then finally, we'll deal with those who are voting in favour and count that. Once you've voted or once you've spoken, can you please make sure you put your hand down so that we don't get confused as to what it is that anybody is voting or speaking on. Can somebody tell me whether Councillor Tivy has now joined the meeting?
Councillor.
I don't know whether Maya or Anna, are you able to see whether he has joined?
I can't see him. No, I can't see him, and Anna's confirmed as well, no.
Right. Mr. Mayor, I think you are going to have to start because we are now 5 minutes overdue. I think the leader is probably just going to send another quick text to Councillor Tivy just to see if he's got any problems. But Mr. Mayor, if you'd like to start the meeting, and then hopefully we can get Councillor Tivy on as soon as we can.
Thank you, Mona. Croeso I cyfarfod a llawn y cyniau. Good afternoon, welcome to the County Borough Council. Full council meeting on Wednesday the 24th of February, 21st. Please note that this meeting is recorded and may be broadcast via the authority's internet site. Images and sound may be recorded and may also be used for training purposes within the authority. We'll go on to first items. Item number 1, apologies for absence.
I don't think there are any formal apologies, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. And we'll go on to item 2, declaration of interest. And please, with the responsibility members for items A and item B, when you provide your declaration of interest, please. I can see Clive is trying again to the meeting now.
Yes. I can't see anybody indicating that they have any declarations of interest, Mr. Mayor.
Right, thank you. We'll go on to item number 3, items 3A to 3L, minutes of the previous meetings, to approve as accurate minutes of the meetings. Do we have a mover, please?
Yes, I move, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Do we have a seconder?
Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to second the minutes.
Yep. Can we put that to the vote then, please?
And members, just, I know it does seem a bit strange for this particular item, but if I can please ask that we go through in the order that I had set out before. So can I ask if anybody who is seeking to abstain on that matter, can you please show now? Thank you. Anybody voting against, can you please show now? Thank you. And then all those voting in favour, can you please show now? Thank you. That's carried, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Go on to
Mr. Mayor, just hold on 1 second. I think we're just getting Councillor Tovey in. There we are. We have Councillor Tovey. Then if you want to go ahead. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I had technical problems.
Okay. We'll go on to item number 4, Treasury Management and Outturn Report 2019-2020. We'll go to Councillor Andrew Barry. Could I invite you to address the council, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Treasury Management Outturn Report 2019-20. Very sobering reading, Mr. Mayor, and alludes to the hard edge of financial management and a glimpse of what Steve and the accountancy team need an awareness of. And obviously through Arlen Close, who are our Treasury Management consultants, the team make adjustments to our financial dealings on a daily basis. The report itself is Appendix 1 and talks of the authority's management of our cash flows, banking, money and capital market transactions, such as our borrowing increased from March 2019 to March 2020, as you would expect. The major difference being 2019-20 was more short-term borrowing as a result of uncertain markets and consequently record low interest rates that realised a saving of circa £300,000 for us in 1920. The economic background reads as a stark reminder of the trajectory of our economy through 2019, the first part of 2020, going into the pandemic. Few examples: Bank of England interest rates 0.1%, Bank of England quantitative easing standing at 745 billion, 10 million workers on furlough in the UK, 100 million discounted meals to eat out to help out. Gross domestic product fell by 21.5%, construction fell by 35%, the service industry fell by 20%, production fell by 16%. Unemployment was up from 3.9 to 4.1, and the Bank of England predicts 9% when furlough ends or the job retention scheme ends. US economy fell by 31.7%, the second biggest economy in the world, surpassed only by China. If you've got stocks in Apple and Microsoft, though, went up 75%. So on a positive note, recommendations are 2.1 and 2.2. Mr. Mayor, 2.1, the Treasury Management Outturn Report for 2019-20 be received, and 2.2, the actual 2019-20 Treasury indicators be received. I move the report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Are we going to second it for that meeting?
Yes, I second that, Mr. Mayor.
Have we got any questions?
Councillor Gibbs, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Gibbs, your question, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question is, it's only a quick question for Steve on page 55, and the paragraph under table 7, investments limits, goes on to say the authority exceeded the £5 million investment limit for one organisation with the authority's own bank account when the authority was unable to place money in the market. This happened on 4 occasions during the year. The authority has since opened an account with the UK government, a debt management account, to avoid this happening in the future. The question is, Steve, I was just wondering, can you explain to members how will the debt management account with the UK government prevent this from happening again? And are there any additional fees or costs incurred in opening up this account to run this type for us? Thank you.
Yes, it is my understanding that because it is with the Debt Management Office that we are able to place our monies, whereas if we were normally, we would like to invest or put monies with other authorities or banks and building societies, which has posed to be a bit of an issue over the last number of months or so. But with the Debt Management Office, we have a guaranteed place there where we just have, and just where we are able to put our monies. As for any further costs, the just only cost that we have is the actual interest rate.
Okay, thank you for that clarification, Steve. That's my question, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gibbs. Any other questions, members?
I can't see any others, Mr. Mayor.
Any comments, members, please?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Can we put it to the vote then, please?
And again, can I ask members to deal with this in the same order? So can anybody who is wishing to abstain, please show now. Thank you. Anybody wishing to vote against, please show now. Thank you. And then anybody who is voting in favour of the recommendations, please show now. That's carried, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, members. We'll go on to item number 5, Treasury Management and Half-Year Review Report 2020 to 21. Can I again ask Councillor Andrew Barry to address the council, please?
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Treasury Management Half-Year Review Report 2020-21. Similar report to the previous report, with emphasis on short-term borrowing, a continued theme because of record low interest rates. The authority received, noteworthy is that the authority received 19.946 million that has been passed through to the business community, just unprecedented amounts for unprecedented times. I'll take you straight to the recommendation, of which is only one, Mr. Mayor. 2.1, the Treasury Management Half-Year Review Report for 2020-21 be received. I move the report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Barry. Go seconder, please.
Yes, I second that, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Rita. Members, any questions, please?
No, Mr. Mayor, there are no questions.
Thank you, members. We'll go on to any comments.
No, Mr. Mayor, no comments.
Can we then take it to the vote, please?
Yes, so can I ask any member wishing to abstain, can you please show now? Thank you. Any member wishing to vote against, please show now. Thank you. Any member wishing to vote in favour, please show now. And that's carried, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, members. Put my hand down. Right. We'll go on to item 6, Adult Service Advocacy Strategy 2020-2023. And can I ask Councillor Davis to address the council, please?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm pleased to bring this report to full council this afternoon then. Section 3 of the report then sets out the background to this. A couple of key elements that legislate the requirement for council to have a strategy around advocacy. Section 17, Social Services and Wellbeing Act, where we have a duty around information, advice and assistance. Section 181 provides that the council or local authorities arrange advocacy. And then part 10, there's a specific code of practice around advocacy. So if you're ever struggling to sleep at night, it's a very interesting read if you'd like to bring yourselves up to speed on the responsibilities on local authorities around advocacy. So the council has been fulfilling its duties under the Social Services and Wellbeing Act from the implementation, but on a basis of we have done a number of spot purchases where we've identified individuals require and would benefit from advocacy. This is something, to be fair to Lisa and her team in Adult Services, they've been wanting to do for some time, and then COVID got in the way. Our recent, or September 2019, Care Inspectorate Wales Adult Services inspection identified that we needed to do this as an area of development. Members will also be aware of the work that we have done and we are doing in respect of our recovery, transformation and improvement plan, which has a focus in social services on resilience. And this is an area of development within our RTI for social services. The report and the strategy, I think, go a long way to strengthen our offer to our residents who are accessing our services. The feedback from our staff and service users has been extremely positive. Our principal manager in Adult Services has developed an advocacy guide for staff, which I've been speaking to staff and social workers, has been really welcomed and really positively received. Some other highlights is we've appointed a senior social worker in our adult duty service, and she has been working with duty officers and social workers to strengthen our offer of advocacy in the assessment process, which is a real positive for where we want to be in terms of implementing the Wellbeing Act and obviously strengthening our offer to our residents. The strategy was shared recently, a few weeks ago, with Scrutiny Committee. There was a lively debate. There were a number of questions, and the Scrutiny Committee really supported this. Section 6, Mr. Mayor, of the report outlines basically the further planned work to improve our offer of advocacy to the residents of the county borough. And then section 7 goes on to outline how we are going to take this forward. I want to put on record my sincere thanks to our principal manager and staff across Adult Services for this excellent piece of work, and actually a piece of work that I'm proud to say we did together, co-produced with service users, professionals and the Advocacy Forum. I think really welcome this excellent piece of work that actually really builds on the rights, entitlements and the voice of our residents. So without any further ado, Mr. Mayor, I would like to take you to the recommendations, subject to any questions and comments. In the report, at 2.1 of the report, is that the content of the report and the appendix be noted and that the advocacy strategy attached be approved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. Can I have a second there, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I second that, and I also echo Councillor Davis's remarks regarding how this actually came together. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Members, any questions?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Can we go on to comments then, please, members?
Yes, Councillor Gareth Richards, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Richards.
Councillor Richards, are you still on mute, possibly?
I am still on mute, possibly, yes. Sorry, Carys. I just want to echo really what's been said already, that the report went to and the document went to scrutiny, and I think all members were impressed that there had been this progress made with regards to advocacy, and is to be commended. I think there is there was a request of scrutiny for it to come back for a review within 6 months, but no, on behalf of the Labour group, we were very impressed with it.
Thank you, Councillor Richards. Any other comments, members?
No, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. Can we put it to the vote then, please?
Yes. So can I ask if any member wants to abstain? Can you please show now? Thank you. Any member voting against? Can you please show now? Thank you. And then any member voting in favour, please show now. Thank you, and that's carried.
Right, got my hand down. Right, thank you very much. We're going to item 7 to deal with any urgent business correspondence. There is no urgent business. To go on to item 8 to receive communications received by His Worship the Mayor. I have no communications. I'd like to thank you. That was the last item on the agenda. So we close the meeting and now then we'll go into the closed session.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So for the next item, I think you're going to need to ask somebody to move section 100.
Right. Can I ask somebody to move the section 100, please?
Yes, I'd like to move that, please, Mr. Mayor.
And we got a seconder for that?
I second that, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Can we take the...
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. Yes, if we just take that to the vote, I wonder if it's easier if we just go straight to all those in favour. Yes, so that's carried unanimously, Mr. Mayor. So, Mr. Mayor, I think